if it was illegal to say stupid things into a microphone.
Why must you be so stupid?
These guys would be doing life without parole.
Hey, everybody, we're back from prison.
Why do we keep encouraging this kind of behavior? It's the Breaking the Ice podcast with Josh Dolan.
You know, we could, go to jail for this.
Along with Mike Shue and Isaiah Moskahana Bonsa Monablitz Boskowitz, whatever the hell his name is.
Right?
Wow. I was talking to Carrie earlier today, and I think it was 6 months ago, if you can believe it, that AAF went off the air. 6 months.
Yep. 6 months, half a year.
Where did
Absolutely.
that time go? I've been drunk.
Yeah, it goes right into your liver. All that time goes.
I've been
right
drinking
into your
since
liver.
summer, and now just for all you pumpkin sluts out there, I have Wachusett Booyah because that's all that's in the stores.
It's not even September yet.
Hold on.
I can't drink pumpkin spice stuff, until it gets colder.
Have you had these, Mike?
No, I haven't had one of those. Sea
Dog,
Dogs,
very,
they're
very
pretty
good.
Yeah,
They're very good. Good breweries, Sea Dog.
yeah.
Any kind of blueberry is good, but pumpkin spice is just the Antifa of flavored drinks. It just gets into everything, even if you don't want it there.
All right, let's not get away from the reason why we started this podcast. We started talking about the fact that 6 months ago, WAAF went poof.
Yep.
And Josh Dolan had a podcast called Breaking the Ice with Andrew Raycroft, awesome guy, and kind of slowed down a bit because Andrew got full-time over at Nesson, and then Josh was doing full-time with you, Mike Shue, afternoon drive at WAAF, and things were cruising along. Things were fucking moving, we're getting somewhere, doing good. I was doing some weekend shit, filling in for you guys, hanging out, running my own business, fucking, Happy New Year, we're rolling in. You guys are starting to build up shit. Mike is you were planning out a big new afternoon show. Josh Dolan was going to get the new overnight show on WAF, right? We were going to add some things. Fucking kadoosh! Jesus bought the fucking thing, and now it's K-Rock. So if you're wondering what's going on with 107.3, it's Jesus Rock. And then, stay with me, how many days was it between that and COVID-19? 1 month, maybe?
2 days.
Yeah, it was only a few days. It was like
Was it only a couple of, was it really 2 days?
St. Patrick's Day was when things really kicked in.
And so what was the date of AAF going down?
That was, I believe, February 28th.
Yeah, because the new AF was supposed to be March 2nd. Okay,
Yeah,
I had March
was my
2nd
official.
circled on my calendar.
Josh was like, I'm going to be the fucking third shift, motherfucker. That would have been fucking so much fun.
2 to 6 in the morning, Josh. That's when all the really interesting people are listening to the radio. Take my word for it. I worked overnights at a couple of different radio stations, and that really is my favorite shift.
I was excited to have a
question.
lot of
All
tow
night
truck
long.
drivers and cops listen to me.
Dude, Josh,
And
you have no idea how awesome that shift would have been because
I don't.
Joe Calgaro, the program director, but he was going to have everything live. And that's the most important thing. And dude, 2 to 6 I started in radio, overnight shift, and some fucking night creatures live.
Yeah.
It's a great shift. That's where you can make fucking mistakes and all that happy horse shit. And it sucks that it didn't happen, but there's some fucking wow. I did 2 to 6 for a few years at a rock station in New Hampshire, and the third shifters are a fucking special crew.
Yeah. I did overnights at AAF before I got onto the Hillman morning show, and I'll tell you, there was a lot of stuff. There was people calling me during orgies. There were men calling me, offering me sex out in the parking lot of the studio and when we were in Westboro. There were people that would call me at the beginning of my shift at midnight. And as the night progressed, they'd call me back occasionally more and more fucked up until the sun came up, and they were still fucked up calling me before Greg came on. And I remember in Richmond, Virginia, working at two very interesting characters would call me when I did the overnight at WVGO. And one was called what was this? He called himself something, the Phantom Rooster. So it was this like old biker, this old
wait, where's the cock? Where's the cock?
Oh yeah, that's right. This is
the new Phantom Rooster.
This This Phantom Rooster was way cooler than the racist cock. This was like an old biker dude who was at Woodstock, and he was building a special motorcycle for him and his old lady, because once he was done with it, they were going to drive to Santa Cruz and resettle in Santa Cruz from Richmond, Virginia. And so he would call me every night while he was working on his bike. And that was great because he would tell me the progress of his bike. And then the night he first started it up, I played it over the air. And then one night he called me up and said, hey, I'm done with the bike. Nice talking to you, dude. You're the best. And that's the last I heard of the Phantom Rooster. So I hope he made it to Santa Cruz with the old lady, and then the other one was this woman who
the old lady
would work late. She was a paralegal, allegedly. This is what she told me. She was a paralegal who was working late and would usually work past midnight in the office. And she finally got up the courage to call me, she said, because she would listen to me wait for me to come on every night, and then she would start pleasuring herself at the office.
Wow.
And so one night she called me up and she told me this whole thing. I said, oh, okay, great. Well, I mean, you got me on the phone. I mean, what do you want me to do? She's like, just talk to me. I'm like, okay, well,
how you doing?
No, it was no. I did the weather for her. So I said,
it's going to be real
it's going to be clear in the morning tomorrow, but it's going to get kind of cloudy. Expect some thunder boomers later on in the afternoon.
The boomers made her come. The boomers made her come.
She's like going, oh. I'm like, yeah, hot. It's going to get hot. I mean, really, like in the 90s hot.
Expect some showers. It might get a little moist and wet.
It's going to get really moist. And she would call me like a couple of times a week to get a little.
Josh, I am so truly, no bullshit, so sorry you didn't get that shift because of that experience, because just that late night, overnight, fucking Walking Dead, people that work at 3:00 in the morning, that's a special fucking breed.
Yeah.
But it sounds like those people also listened to the Hillman Morning Show when I worked for them, and also when me and Shu were on the afternoon, it seemed like they all called.
Yeah.
Listen, well,
there's plenty of freaks during the day, but at night, when the sun goes down, man, the freaks come out at night. I remember one taxi
They have more
driver,
confidence.
One taxi driver in Richmond would call up and request stuff, and like it was overnight, and it was way before. What was that system that they had that kept track of songs that got played?
Fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, it was before that. I was actually playing CDs at this radio station, and this cab driver would listen to me all night long. And he'd be picking up hookers and junkies and all that stuff and telling me about it. But he would make requests. And if I didn't have the song he wanted, he would go home and get the CD and drop it off at the security desk.
Fucking
downstairs.
awesome.
And I'd take the elevator downstairs. The guy said, the guy dropped this off for you. I'm like, okay. And I bring it upstairs and I play the song he'd want.
Right? Oh my God! At
listening
Guest
to the
Street?
CD, he brought.
No. In Richmond, he was in Richmond.
Oh, in Richmond.
Yeah.
I thought I had AF in my head.
You gotta go back, Josh, to before shit got corporate and people were told what to do, and probably Mike and I are the same age. Before we got on the air.
And before the internet, because like what Mike Shu was saying, if Shu didn't play the song, the guy would go home and get the CD and bring it to him.
Yeah.
Like when we were on the air and somebody would be like, you didn't play the Nirvana song I wanted, to be like, Google it, dude, if you want to hear it that bad.
This was pre-internet. So like I couldn't just like download it or anything. So
but that was the best part about it.
Yeah.
You couldn't find it anywhere else. So radio was your true fucking friend, and people that were doing the motorcycle building, the taxi driving. I had a cop that used to listen to my show overnight every night when I was working at WHEB in Portsmouth, and he would come around at like 3:30 in the morning, fucking turn the lights on, be like, call me up, be like, hey, buddy, just want to make sure you're awake in there. I mean, it's fucking. I'll tell you.
Now, did that ever help you out at all, or
100%? Totally fucking shit faced out of my mind at a Chinese restaurant, fucked up on like 3 scorpion bowls. Drove, shouldn't have. That same cop got me out of trouble. No names. We won't say anymore. I was going to ask.
Officer Koharski.
We're talking about more radio stuff because the whole reason we started this podcast is radio related.
I get it.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I definitely smell a pork product of some type.
Give a good fucking
give a full cavity search.
Give a good story, Mike. I'm gonna give a good one, like a good story. Like when you first started in fucking radio, I'll give one where it was a fucking horror story for me. I started at this radio station, K100 in Bangor, Maine. I'm 20 years old, fucking all that in a bag of chips. I'm doing overnights. I'm at my fucking buddy's house. We're partying. I go to do the midnight shift. So you're on midnight to 6. I'm feeling good. All my friends are listening. My buddy gives me a little bag of mushrooms, and it was just a little bit, nothing crazy. Just, anything's crazy for Josh. He's done no drugs. But it's a little mushrooms. I'm like, okay, this will carry me up from like 2 to 3. I'll be good. I popped those suckers at 2. Well, that head of that mushroom was fucking loaded. And I was fucking gone from like, I was tripping my bag off trying to just like, all right, I'm going to do this radio show. We're good. This thing was in an industrial park. I leaned back in my chair. I kicked something, shut the whole fucking station off. Mind you, tripping on mushrooms. Everything goes down. CD players, record player, phone. And I'm just like, fuck. And you're there. Dead air is the worst. And now it's dead 2, 3 minutes. Phone's going off. I'm picking up. Hey, fucking asshole, your fucking radio station's off the air. I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. I couldn't figure it out. I look under. This fucking radio station's plugged into a fucking extension cord. I plug it back in. Whoop, it goes back on. Worst thing to do, make mention of it. I get on the radio and I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry. We were off the air for 2 fucking minutes or whatever. I didn't say fuck. 2 minutes, whatever. Oh, that's like tripping, man. And I play a Pink Floyd song. Hotline rings. The boss goes, dude, I really don't care what you're doing in there, but you don't have to mention that we were off the air. And please don't reference the fact that you might be tripping. Yeah. He wasn't fucking stupid. And I'm like, I was freaking the fuck out for 5 minutes. So like one of the first fuck ups I ever had in radio.
I once working the night shift at WAF consumed an entire pizza from what was the place we used to get the pizza from, Josh?
Big Daddy's.
Big Daddy's. Yeah, I used to get every night. I would get a pepperoni and tomato pizza.
Yeah,
and they were so good. Their pizza's awesome. And I would
when it arrives.
Yeah, when it eventually gets.
They got more free advertising, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, I would consume an entire pizza every evening, and then one evening it just didn't really it disagreed with me. So I had
didn't agree with you.
My ass was exploding, so I had to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom was down the hall when we were in the New Balance building, and we had a system called Audio Vault. So you had to hit the start button, and then you had to hit like a pause button if you were going to do a break. So I was like, okay, I'll do this break. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll just shit my brains out. So I do the break and I hit the song, but for some reason I must have double tapped it because it shut off the automation. So I went, shit my brains out. I probably wasn't gone more than 5 minutes because, you work in radio long enough, you learn how to take a shit really fast.
Time your shits. You time your shits.
You just know
if
how
you're going to take a big
out.
one, you put on fucking Leonard Skinner Freebird Live. That's 18 minutes long.
This is like, I didn't have the choice of what to play.
You definitely don't put on Blur, though.
No.
So
I go
2 minutes, that's a piss if you're lucky.
My ass explodes. I come back. All the phone lines are ringing, including the hotline. And
no. Who was your boss at the time?
I look at the Audio Vault, and I'm like, oh, my God, it stopped. So I just hit play again. It starts up again. I get on the hotline. The boss at the time was Keith Hastings. God bless him. Yep. The guy saved my job there. And he said, he saved my job. He gave me the night shift, and then I do something like that. And he goes, what the hell's going on up there? I said, I totally was honest with him. I said, look, I took a crap. I forgot to put it on continue, but if I didn't,
you'd be mad at that.
If I didn't go to the bathroom,
I was taking a shit.
I would have shit my pants. So I'm sorry that he goes, all right, well,
at least you were honest.
And he wasn't cool with it. He was angry, but he was like, all right, well, just pay attention next time. And then I had to go through all the phone calls. And of course, with my reputation of my enthusiasm for cannabis, every single phone call was like, what are you doing up there? What happened? Did you spill the bong? Blah, blah, blah. Every single phone call was that for like the next
I got
it. So as opposed to like not mentioning it, I had to play the calls.
Yes.
Hilarious. So I just kind of ran with that, and
because it turns into content.
It does. It really, it's you could spin some of those things into gold.
If I had just started and had it been a situation where it was more, I had just started and I was fucking like, wait, I just broke the radio station. And I just was like apologizing to, he's like, no, he probably wanted to say, dude, if you actually just kind of rolled with it, you'd be fine. But you literally came on and went, basically I'm fucked up and I shut the station off and I'm wicked sorry, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The worst. I had nightmares about that hotline light for a long time. For people that have never seen the hotline, it's basically like a rapid
light.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
strobe light.
like a paparazzi.
It's like a fire alarm light.
And the,
Yeah.
and the only person that's calling it is the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually they're the only ones that have the number. We had two. We had the hotline, and then we had the super hotline, which was the number that only the boss had.
And it said Ron next to it. And I had nightmares about
next to it. Yeah.
Did Valeri install the super hotline?
No, the super hotline was there when I got there.
Okay.
Nobody ever used it except for Ron.
Yeah.
I had nightmares about that one going off, and it never went off when I was there. But the worst fuck up I think I ever had was right when I started at AAF, and I forget what the issue was, and it was at like 2 a.m. and Carrie was like, if anything ever goes wrong, call me. Don't call Ron. Call me first. And I was like, all right. And I forget what was going wrong, and I was like, I gotta call her. So I called Carrie, and she couldn't hear me, and I had her on the speaker, and she was like, cue it up. And I was in such panic mode that I did what I thought was cue it up. And then we had a whole conversation. And then when we hung up, she texted me and said, why couldn't you hear me at first? And I said, oh, I didn't have it queued up. And then I slid the thing up to queue it up. And she was like,
the thing up. I slid the thing. You mean you potted it up?
Yeah. So I took queue it up, it's potted up. And she was like, you just put our phone conversation over the air. Oh. And she was like, I don't know if I swore or if you swore, but whatever we said just went over the air. And I was like, oh, I just worked here for 2 days. I'm getting fired.
Yeah. Well, see, if it's a good thing that you did that at WAAF, because
at 2 a.m.
listeners are probably a little more forgiving.
Oh, if you did that on Magic,
and
if you did that on Magic, you'd be dead.
They may think it's a bit or something like that. But yeah, if you did that on Magic, then somebody would have complained to the boss. Because I've had those situations where I didn't think we were on the air, or there was a hot mic and I had a band in there or something, and we were talking and some shit was said, but you know what? No one ever complained.
Right. Yeah, like a few times, like me and you.
That's because no one was listening.
Yeah, like in the afternoon show, like me and you would be in there, and then we'd have some like crazy person in trying food with us, like Isaiah, and it would just go off the rails.
Yeah.
There was a time.
Speaking of that, I talked to our friend Andy Ferg, who runs the North Shore.
Oh yeah, you got a Super Beef shirt on.
Yeah,
he sent me one.
Man.
I meant to wear mine.
Super Beef.
Ooh. He sent me that, but I'm wearing my Ladder 14 shirt from History Hyenas.
Oh,
Shout out to those guys.
Nice. Yeah.
Hold on. You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, Andy Ferg's been beefing it up pretty heavy. Now he's going head to head with me on the Italian Grinder Odyssey. He's actually doing some other. He's showing me where all the good grinder places are in the North Shore. So I'm gonna have to travel out there and do it
real quick before let's keep going on some of these radio stories, but let's give a shout out to our sponsors before we get too deep into this thing. Our good friend Chris at Garage Doors Plus. How's Chris doing, Josh?
He's good. He's at dinner right now. I asked him if he wanted to come on with us real quick tonight, but he's out at dinner.
At least he's out.
Yeah, exactly. Go out. So
yeah,
Chris, Garage Doors Plus. Yeah. Garage Doors Plus. Follow them on social media. Awesome guys. Joe at Boston Exterior. Is he still rocking it?
He is.
Doing the outdoor stuff?
Only outdoors. I mean, It's in the name.
Yep, it's exterior, not just a clever name.
Right. Hence, it's outdoor stuff, right?
Yeah.
Exterior.
Right.
All COVID friendly too.
Okay. Boston Exterior Remodeling. Our good friend Matt over at Wolf Pack Coffee. I saw a great post last week about you put a nice little BTI cups up there with the Wolf Pack Coffee on your social.
Mugs.
Oh yeah, nice mugs. Right. But I noticed you had it full of coffee. Like you took time to do that.
I did, and it was just my wife was even impressed. She looked over and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm being an influencer.
I'm working."
I had the lighting out, and I bought beans from Wolfpack Coffee, and I was being artistic with it. So
I know it was a fucking awesome post. So if you follow Breaking the Ice on all social media, you'll see that. And thanks to Matt, who is a veteran. Thank you for your service.
And yes, I
Wolfpack
did buy
Coffee.
my own merch. That's how I got the mugs. I buy my own merch.
Oh, I bought a shirt. It cost me fucking $75,000. It's fine though. It's for the show. It's for the show.
For you, it's 75,000. Yes.
Yeah, bitches. And definitely thank you to Nicole at Invoke Media Group. She is the one that produced not only our website at breakingtheicepodcast.com. Everything on there actually makes us look like we know what the fuck we're doing, because none of us really do at all. But
No.
Nicole at Invoke Media Group. Check her out at invokemediagroup.com. And then she also did Wolfpack Coffee's website. She did Matt's site for the coffee. She's good people.
Oh, that's right.
Good people. I was going to say, I like the fact that we're talking radio stuff, because we've had a ton of guests on. How many shows have we done, Josh? Fucking 30?
It seems like 5, but it also seems like 500. But yeah, speaking of radio,
when did we start? When did we start this thing? Seriously, when did we started this? Right after. So we've done how many shows do you think?
We went off the air on Friday in March, and then we started the next Monday.
You came to my house, and we just fucking.
And I didn't want to, but you forced me to.
Oh bullshit! You came over uninvited when I still lived in Malden. I'm like,
no,
dude.
I didn't want to, and you're like, if you don't come over, I'm coming to your house.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm at Legal Seafoods right now. You're going to meet me here, and we're going to go to my house. And I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm trying to find the Seven Dust interview. I can't find it. I'm trying to post it to the AAF website.
Yeah. It was that week. Oh, yeah.
It was that week.
I was harassing
him.
him. He was trying to do work for you, and I'm like, we need to start this podcast now.
And then I found it, I posted it, and I headed to your house. And now, Shu, what's going on in radio?
I'm on the Pike now here in Worcester, 100 FM the Pike on Monday through Friday, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
The guys over at the Pike, Bob Goodell and Chuck Perks and Cumulus Media were very kind enough to make a place for me over there. And Bob Goodell's been trying to do that for me for a long time, and he finally made it happen. So I'll be on right after Mikey Adams.
Yes.
And then I'll be on Saturdays, 4 to 7, right after Bob and Zip, which is a thrill for me, because those guys are like one of the reasons why I got into radio, and I got to sit in with them when they were filling in mornings on the Pike, and that was a real thrill. And now I get to be on the same radio station as Bob and Zip. And that's
you had them on at the end of AF. They came in, and Chuck Perks came in at the end. And
Chuck Perks came up there. He was Mike Wild on WAF. If you remember Mike Wild,
Mike Wild.
He did I know Mike Wild. Chuck Perks. He did the Hairball, which is one of the best hair metal shows ever that I ever heard, because Chuck Perks really knows his stuff when it comes to hair metal and 80s metal. And that was such a great show. And he's like the operations manager over there at the Worcester Cumulus cluster. And so I want to thank those guys for working hard and making a place for me. And it's only a couple hours a night, but it's nice to be back on the air. And you can listen every night except on Sundays. They're giving me Sunday off, which is nice.
So plug it again. Station, where it is, and go. And how do we listen to it?
It's
107.3.
No, it's a 100.1.
Oh, no, that's K-Love. That's K-Love.
It's a 100.1 FM, the Pike in Worcester. You can ask Alexa to play 100 FM the Pike. You can listen. They have an app. You can listen through the Pike app, or you can listen through their website. And so it's a lot of fun. They play a lot of stuff that AAF was playing way back in the day, and they're starting to kind of expand a little bit, more rock stuff, less classic hits, and it's just good to be back on the air. It's pretty awesome. And I want to thank the folks at Lux Auto who stepped right up and became a sponsor of the show. I appreciate their support. So thanks to them for
Lux Auto. Lux Auto was a big partner of WAAF, and they supported
for a long time.
Carey. They supported all of us at AAF. I mean, they are right the fucking Auburn, I think, right, or right in that area.
Yep.
And they are. I mean, if I can just say, not to blow you, but dude, I'm fucking.
Here we go.
I'm about to take his pants down. Get ready, Mike.
This is really unwanted sexual advances.
Can you get the cock out? Get the cock out.
Oh God.
I mean, and that's the wrong thing to say, right?
Anyway, You fucking deserve to be on the radio, buddy. You're
Shut up.
fucking one of the best. I've worked in radio for fucking 30 years, and you are one of the best. You're a fucking
Thank
great
you.
friend. You're awesome on the radio. You're not a fucking cunt like a lot of people are in radio.
No,
And I was going to say that too,
That's
and a
Josh.
nice person, which is
That's
rare.
Josh. I can be a cunt. Josh.
Oh,
has-
no.
Josh
Don't
has
get me
seen-
wrong.
Seen the
I've
bitching.
seen
Yeah.
you be a cunt, but overall, you're not the full cunt circle that some can be. You and look, you're in fucking.
But you're
Worcester.
really not, though.
No, you're not. You're no. Listen, I'm
Like
fucking.
times
You
when
want
you
me to
could
be-
have,
want me to be
when
a
I
bitch? I can be a bitch. You want me to be a bitch?
But you're barely a bitch. On our show here, when you're a bitch, you walk off the screen and no one gives a fuck.
you
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
take a dump and you're fine, you know?
Right. No, dude, I'm really fucking happy for you. Wow, easy. I'm trying to give you a compliment, you fuck.
Yes,
Okay, you know what?
gotta be a bitch.
Hashtag me too, all right?
I'm very fucking happy for you, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I can't hear the station out here, but I'll try to listen.
Well,
Or
you can listen
Alexa,
online and you can listen on the app, and you know we're all caught up with technology here in Worcester. You know,
All right,
I'm
so
really
hey,
lucky to be working in Worcester, in the city I actually live in.
That's what I'm
You know,
saying.
because I love this city, and I'm glad to be really part of the community now.
I think
and,
doesn't Cumulus have something to do with the new Red Sox team out there too?
Yeah, they're a big sponsor of the
Yes.
Worcester Red Sox.
How
you
about
know,
the Railers?
and the Railers? Absolutely.
Yes.
Adam Webster is always at the Railers games, being the MC, and he's on Nash Icon, which is one of the Cumulus stations out here. And
Good.
you know, and I love the Railers. Josh knows I love
Oh, yeah.
minor league hockey. I prefer minor league hockey mostly because I'm a cheap bastard. But it just seems like it's
Oh,
me too.
fun. You know, it's just a lot.
You
of fun.
Sometimes
cheap
it's better
bastard.
hockey than
Yeah.
NHL hockey. So,
Sometimes
I mean,
it's more exciting.
it's guys fighting for a job.
right, literally fighting for a job.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So here's my question: Can
Yeah.
can Josh and I come on the show?
No, absolutely not.
No, here's my question. Is there a
No.
third shift where they're looking for
Hold on, absolutely not.
because
I'll inquire with Chuck Perks. I'll say, hey man, this guy wants to
Awesome.
do 2 to 6 in the morning.
because the big regret I have about not being the DJ on air at AF during the third shift was because, let's see if I can pull it up right here, is because I wouldn't be able to talk to people that look like this,
Ooh,
Oh
right,
my
wow.
God. Oh
you know?
my God.
And it's just
Why does that exist? What is happening here?
What
Why-
the
Okay,
fuck is
first of
that?
all, besides the amazing physique, what's up with the phone clip on the he's wearing pants?
I know, is this a Nextel?
What
What's happening?
Did he just
is-
come from his job at T-Mobile?
Who
And,
the
like-
fuck is this?
And like he just took his T-Mobile polo shirt off, and he's still got the khakis and the belt on.
And how
Is
old
that-
was he when he got this tattoo?
Wow. Oh, see,
27.
just in full disclosure, I know this gentleman. Right.
Who
Me
is this
too.
guy?
I grew up with him.
Yeah, this is Josh's childhood friend. This is Luke Condon. He does the Long May You Young, Neil Young podcast with me and with his brother
wow.
Russ. He's also in the band Town Meeting,
Wow.
who are actually a really
Wow.
great band. Please don't judge the band Town Meeting.
Wow.
Stop, Josh.
Wow.
Stop. Josh,
Wow.
stop doing that.
Sorry.
Zoom in on
Stop
the
doing
nipple.
that.
Zoom in on the nipple.
Don't judge
Oh.
the band Town Meeting by this picture
Oh,
because
God.
the band Town Meeting is really great.
Keep
and
going.
they're
Keep
awesome.
going.
It is.
That's actually where we record the Long May You
Oh,
Young podcast.
Jesus,
Oh my
dad
God,
bod,
stop it.
dad bod.
Oh, look at the. Well, in all fairness, Isaiah, the dude's got 5 kids.
All right, well, then he's
5.
got a dad bod. Okay, God bless him.
5. He's got no time for the gym.
$5
Okay.
foot long.
You
But
know?
he does have time to take this off his
Yeah.
belt loop.
And the
though.
shoes. So he was somewhere official, and then he came
No,
home.
no.
He's like,
He was
I'm
he
gonna
was-
lay down some sweet vocals, after with my scotch, and take my
Wow.
shirt off.
He was
Also, Luke,
absolutely
Luke.
working for fucking Geico during the day.
Wow.
Oh yeah, but
Luke
Luke,
Condon,
is
ladies
this
and gentlemen.
is this belt loop a little cold on your belly?
Ooh,
What's going
my
on?
God. Josh, you gotta stop.
Ooh,
Sorry.
that
I'm
is
gonna get so
fucking
much. You know what? I'm gonna get so
hashtag
much shit.
wow.
Although Josh,
Hashtag wow.
Josh is allowed because Luke Condon has a Josh Dolan
Yeah.
soundboard he brings up on the Long May You Young podcast, every now and then, which is pretty fucking funny. Yeah.
That was my version of payback. And
That's right,
also,
yeah.
if you want to
Okay.
see that
That's cool.
bod,
Oh,
Town Meeting will be playing a show live in Fitchburg at Hollis Farms this Saturday.
yeah. that's-
Really?
they've been playing live, and they've had some really interesting experiences because for any musical artist right now, it's just been impossible to make a living. And so they had a live feed on their Facebook page of them playing another place in New Hampshire. It was an actual festival. And they had a grid, whoever was putting it on had a grid mapped out on the grass.
Of where to stand?
You had your own square that you had to stay in.
Okay.
You know, while you
I like that virus or no virus. I like that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you would like that. And then they're telling me all these stories that, you know, it's like they have to not say, like this place you just mentioned, Josh, I don't know if they're going to get in trouble because they're not the place. The rules are so fakakta about live music venues and restaurants. If you're a restaurant,
racist cock the name out. Racist cock the name out.
No, because we want people to go to the show.
Well, you don't want to get them in trouble, though.
No, they'll be all right because nobody listens to this. Well,
No.
there's two transgender people that listen to this show, and we appreciate
Ah.
that.
One binary.
Oh, one binary and two.
You know why? Because I had the thing on my head because of the fucking weirdos.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry, did I say weirdos? Sorry.
Great marketing move. Great marketing move.
I knew what I was doing.
But it's like, so live music venues can't have live music, but restaurants that occasionally have that dude who plays the guitar and Margaritaville, you know, on Thursday nights, they can have live entertainment.
Right.
Stuff. Now, if you go to a live music venue, like you can't, like they can't serve drinks unless they serve food.
The Orpheum has nothing in Boston, right? Nothing.
No, there's nothing going on in the Orpheum. Or
Right.
like here in Worcester, you have the Palladium, right? Now the Palladium doesn't serve food. You know, and if they did, I never knew about it. You know, they have
You got a fucking hot dog stand.
They have a well-stocked bar and stuff like that. But a lot of these live music venues, they just, that's not what they do. They have bands, they serve booze, you know, but they can't have live music. But the restaurants who aren't live music venues are allowed to have live music. It's ridiculous. And
well, how about if a place like the Palladium gets a fucking like a sausage guy?
Right. Well, that's what they're I think they're working on something like that. You know, and it's
good.
It's just as simple as like, you know, maybe making some pretzels and some nachos.
Well, right, and it's one permit away. If you're at the Palladium,
just buy a microwave.
Yeah,
but you know what? There's also
hot dog.
There's also rules that go with that are a pain in the ass.
I know. That's why I'm saying you got to get one permit.
You just get the one night permit, but that's a pain in the ass to get. You know,
yeah, because then there's health codes
unfair.
and all the tips training for all the alcohol things that probably all changes too. And it's just like
so then if I'm in Worcester and I'm running and I'm working as a selectman or mayor or whatever the fuck, and do I want the Palladium to close? No. You think I'd work with them?
Yeah.
Well,
right.
then help me get you the fucking permit.
Why isn't that happening? They're helping restaurants.
Politics. I don't know. Fucking
I know.
politics.
You know what it is? I think it's targeted lobbying. Basically,
it all is.
It's whoever is you always got to follow the money. You know, Deep Throat had it.
Oh, you're exactly right.
You always got to follow the money. Who benefits? You always got to look at who benefits. And you know, there's a lot of great restaurants, and I don't want to rip on them, but I just think that you know the live music venues are being excluded, and it's hurting just as many people. And I know there's people suffering from actual COVID-19, and there's families that are dealing with it, and there's people that are jobless because of it. But I just happen to have a lot of friends who work in that business who are really struggling right now.
They're getting fucked right now.
You know, and it just seems like, and I know we're talking about people's lives on the line, but I'm just saying maybe make it equal.
Well, yeah, you're talking about lives on the line, but it's not. The equality is not there.
But
if you're gonna,
the whole thing is either just shut everything down or you open. It's just we're playing games right now.
Well, segregation. It's segregation across the board.
Yeah, and it's like
because it seems like we're the only country that's still like dealing with it. Like other countries that shut down where it was like you can't even go outside. But like this whole thing where it's like my parents called me today and they said that they were going to Water Country today instead of Canopy Lake Park because Canopy Lake Park shut down every other ride due to coronavirus. But Water Country opened all the rides, but they're limiting the amount of people. Same state, but it's like, why are you shutting down every other ride? You're going to condense everybody into one ride? That doesn't make any sense.
I think I know why, Josh. And this is just a theory on my part, and I'm not a scientist, but I think the E. coli riddled water that they use may kill the COVID.
You know,
I'm just
you're
speculating,
right.
of course. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist.
I was
but
like,
Dude,
in 2001, I
all the
wouldn't go to
urine
water
and
country.
E.
So
coli in the water.
Dude, I worked across the street. The radio station I worked at in Portsmouth, across the street from fucking Water Country. I used to do fucking like remotes from there. I don't know what the actual fuck that place is still doing open. It was like, it's a fucking cesspool, a petri dish with slides.
Yeah.
but
What?
when I smell
in fucking 2000, Josh is right. In 2000, it's 2020, and now there's COVID. Let's go to fucking Water
But
Country and slide into my own piss.
yeah, like when I was old enough to realize Hampton Beach was just an outside Walmart, and when I grew up and I was like, oh, that smell that reminds me of my childhood. That's not a chlorine pool. A homeless guy just peed outside.
Yeah.
That is like that's
10.
the smell of Water Country. And
Dude, Water Country was such a fucking trip. To be in New Hampshire from Massachusetts, working in New Hampshire, that was one thing. But to go to Water Country and the fucking group of people that would always go there, it was just, I was just like,
just a bunch of, you don't
and
care
a
what
friend
you
of
look
mine that was a
like,
fucking lifeguard there. I'm like, are you a lifeguard to save them from what? If they take a gulp of that water, they're dead.
You're gonna
Oh.
you're gonna save them from their unfinished tattoo. But my point
And you're
was
2 miles from the fucking beach.
Yeah, I
Go
don't get
there.
that. I don't get that at all. I saw that up in Maine too. I forget if it was like Kittery or
Sacco.
Wells. They had like a huge water park, and like the beach was like a mile away. I'm like, why don't you just go? And it was
so
Old
stupid.
Orchard Beach, you know.
Well,
It
yes,
wasn't-
let's be like the people like.
Oh yes,
I live
Old
on-
Orchard.
I live
they
on,
did
I
have
live on,
slides.
I live on the ocean, but let's have a pool. Make up your fucking mind.
I
But
know.
Really?
the point is like the games that we're playing. Like I just got an email today because I usually play in a summer hockey beer league that was
How's that
canceled. It was canceled all summer. But we just got an email that we're allowed to play on the very last day that we would have played on August 27th in Concord, Massachusetts. But where everything is the same, but you don't need to wear a mask on the ice. But when you're sitting on the bench gasping for air, you have to wear a mask.
What?
Oh, because you're not
But
gasping for air while you're playing, or sweating, or spitting, or
I guess,
And while
and
you're
contact
playing,
is
right?
available, so you can smash up against someone's face.
Right.
But when you're on the bench, put a mask on.
yeah.
Well,
And also,
I'll tell
I
you the
saw
sport-
the
I'll tell you
rules,
the sport that's
locker
doing it
room
right.
doors are to remain open.
See this up here? This is why I have this here. This is a fucking sport that's doing it right. The NHL. They've locked them into two places, and they're fucking playing their games. And you, if you like the NHL, you like hockey, they're fucking pumping out 5 games a day. And these men are in 2 places, Edmonton and fucking Toronto, and they're cranking that shit. It's like binge watching, like it or not. And Josh and I had this conversation earlier. He's into it because the Bruins are doing well, but it's different. It's definitely no, I get it. It's definitely different. But if you just want to look at fuck it, the times are where they are. Josh, you're talking about a social local league. They're not going to play because they're not going to have the rules right, because you will spit on each other. Well, wear a mask when you're in the bathroom, but not when you're at the fucking concession stand. These people and the NBA are doing it right. They've put people in a bubble, said, fuck it, we'll test you all day. I've been watching hockey for weeks.
The most
And it's
shocking
good.
thing about what's behind you right now is that the Islanders are in the playoffs. I didn't even know that.
Hold on. What's the score here?
2-0.
Who gives?
No.
Is it 2-0 Islanders?
Whatever,
No.
whatever they're doing, it wasn't good enough for Tuukka Rask.
I saw something this morning. I saw something this morning. I saw something this morning that your boy Greg actually talked to him, and whether it's true or not.
Yeah,
and it was
they're friends.
And it was a family. It was a true family thing with his daughter.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Whatever they're doing, Tuukka Rask wasn't convinced. And
but you do the same. You do the same
family.
thing. I mean, and I don't have kids. You do the same thing. It sounded like you get a call from your daughter, and you're up in Toronto somewhere, Mike, and she goes, "Fucking Dad, where are you?" And I'm fucked up. You're getting on your fucking bike and you're out of town.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or he texted his daughter and said, "I need to get out to call. Can you call me with that you have a sore throat or something?"
Right. Can you get me out of here?
Because the night before he gave an interview where he's like, I don't know, I'm not into it. It just feels like preseason. There's no fans. And then
Well, I think he was probably also, if it truly is his daughter, he probably had no patience for the media, was dealing with his wife calling, and I'm not gonna bust his fucking balls. Good for him. Good for.
But you know
him.
what? The whole thing that bugs me about him is that him and me have the same body, and he's in the NHL. That bugs
doesn't
me.
sound like it has anything to do with COVID-19. It sounds like you're malnourished. And,
sounds like you're angry that you haven't done a fucking push-up in like 10 years.
You should probably eat better. Maybe that.
Whatever. Put the booze down, comedian, and do a lap.
Yeah,
maybe you could be Tuukka Rask.
Why don't you try eating some vegetables, for crying out loud?
Harpoon Flannel Friday.
He doesn't drink those, and he has a kid.
Why are you guys drinking these fall beers?
Because that's all that's there. There's no summer beer.
Fucking August.
This is blueberry,
Jesus
kid.
Christ. I had a beer yesterday called Whale Cake. It was unbelievable. Now, if you don't like fruit beers, then don't even bother. But it was a raspberry beer. I swear to God, it had seeds in it. It was so good.
That's awesome.
Raspberry. I don't know how it feels.
I had a milkshake. Milkshake pale ale from Smut Labs, which is a division of Smutty Nose.
Smutty Nose up here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, and it's called All Scream. So it had orange puree in it, vanilla extract, and lactose. And I swear to God, it was a creamsicle in beer form. Perfect when it's like 90 degrees out. It was.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Did you get a little hard?
No, but I did get a little drunk.
And based on the lactose, I shit a little bit.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not that intolerant with lactose, but
you took me to the. I think we talked about this. You took me to a fucking when we were working at AAF. We went to a fucking a beer festival down in the Seaport.
Oh yeah, we went to the American Craft Beer Festival. Unfortunately, well, they're not doing it now, but they ended that.
Did they?
Yeah. So
who was that guy that was in
Beer
charge?
Advocate put it on, and they're one of the best beer organizations in the country. But
what was that cat's name? Your good friend.
Oh, Ben Kaplan, who
was
sales manager.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's great, and that was great because we didn't have to stand in line.
And I am no beer aficionado like Mike is. So it's basically like taking, I was going and I'm like, Mike's got the fucking palate for it. I'm like, like blueberry, this and this. But I'm like, fucking, I'll go. And that dude, Ben, was the balls because it literally was like, we're used to doing VIP at concerts and taking people around. This motherfucker's like front of the line.
Also, Ben,
front of the line.
Ben is a giant and can carry you home if you're drunk, right?
Yeah,
God.
Big dude, man. He's actually done that, Josh. He actually picked me up. I went to college with Ben. He picked me up off the ground one night and dragged me home. God bless him. Dressed like a Viking.
He carried me home from the Brothers of Another Feather or whatever the hell the thing was called.
Oh, did he? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a huge Mike Rose fan.
The beer at that show, Mike, the beer at that event that fucking blew my mind, I think I mentioned this on an episode before, was the peanut butter and jelly.
Oh yeah. Now who did that? Was that
I think by the time I got there, Ben had already got me fucked up.
I think I know exactly who did the peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, that guy. Hey.
Jesus Christ, Josh.
Yeah, nipple.
I'm afraid to go record one day.
Peanut butter and jelly right there.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm sorry, man.
That's my soundboard, Luke.
Oh Jesus.
So
Monday, man.
Going back to the fucking radio business here, the fucking whole AAF crew. Mistress Carrie getting married.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she got engaged. She's got a beautiful ring. It's got skulls on it, of course. And
of course it does.
Her fiance is a really great dude and
awesome guy.
And so I'm very
now.
Did
he propose on top of a tank? Or no?
Yeah, right. I think he actually did it on a motorcycle.
Really?
I think that's how it happened. But
as it was falling from the sky as the parachute opened.
Right. Yeah. He was doing an amphibious landing in Mozambique. That's just great. Because they've been going out for a long time, and he's a good dude. And
he's awesome. I met him one time. He was sleeping in the studio next door to us while we were doing a show, and he just like came back from a war or something, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And I was like,
he's busy being a Navy SEAL." He's busy being a Navy SEAL. And
he was just all cool, like, "Yeah, I just got home like 5 minutes ago."
We don't want to offend him. He's a Marine.
Yeah.
That's what we'll say. They're, you don't want to call them anything else but Marines. He's a Marine, and
I thought he was a Navy SEAL.
No, he's a Marine. I think he's like a master sergeant. He's
all right.
like
So he's way at the top of something. He's all right. I thought he was.
The master sergeants are like the toughest dudes in any of the branches, and he's.
The point is, he could kill us all in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh no! By looking at you, nicest guy, dead in 1 second.
Right. Yeah.
Very calm. He's
so
calm
congratulations
to
Carrie.
Congratulations,
That's
Mistress
great news.
Carrie's fucking.
Yeah.
By the way, her podcast is killing it. I was talking to her today. She's doing great. She calls me. I haven't talked to her in a bit because I bailed on social media again. I was all set with that fucking nonsense.
Yeah,
and
she's
she's
like
like,
every couple of months.
it's fucking. I'm over it. I'm over all the horse shit. And she calls. She goes, "You're not on the social medias." I'm like, "No, what happened now?" She goes, "I'm getting married." I'm like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome." I was psyched. I was pumped to hear it. And her podcast is doing great. She's doing all kinds of extra stuff with that. She's doing a sit rep feature. She was telling me all about it, but I was really happy to hear that she's getting married. She's doing a little ceremony at her house, and that's awesome. Good for her.
Nice.
She's fucking good people, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. She's, obviously one of the first people I met when I started working at AF, because she was doing nights at the time, and I would roll in on the overnights, and she would always have something going on in her show. I walked in one night and Seven Dust was sitting there in the studio. They were recording over in Brookfield, and there was like weed and whiskey and beers all over the place, and they stayed till like 3 a.m. and I did everything I could to convince Chris Engel I was sober before I left there. And she's really the one that really, I guess you could say, took the WAAF flag and ran with it.
Yeah.
She was the flag bearer. She lived and breathed that radio station, and nobody worked harder than her.
Her blood was red, black, and white.
Yeah. I mean, she was like we had bosses, but she really ran the show there. You know, she was great.
She said it today when I was talking to her. We were discussing a bunch of different shit, and it's still, for all of us, hurts. She's like, I'm still heartbroken. I said, you're not going to never be heartbroken. I mean, you spent 22
it's like
plus
a family
fucking
member
years
that died.
Exactly.
No, it really
you do
is.
something, and you just. She was like, Isaiah. She goes, I'm fucking heartbroken. I said, you know what though? This has been a fucked up year. The stupidest shit's happened to all of us. But you're engaged. You're marrying a fucking great dude. The motherfucker got you, skull and crossbones or whatever the fuck ring. That's perfect. That's your thing. You're getting married at your house. Keep it simple, and have a nice day and celebrate that. You're with a great fucking guy. So and she was like, yeah, but she kept saying, she's like, I'm fucking so heartbroken because she put her fucking heart and soul into the fucking thing.
Yeah. When Josh mentioned earlier that, she said, call her, that's what her phone was always ringing. She was the one people called when something went down at the station.
Even if we were afraid to call her, she would still answer.
She would get pissed if you'd call the boss. She was always like, fuck you, call me. Don't call Ron or Joe or Keith or whoever was running the fucking show. Call me.
Yeah.
She took responsibility and she ran that thing.
A friend's wedding out in Northampton a few years ago, and my wife and I and one other person and her shared a hotel room at the Hotel Northampton, which is a beautiful place.
Northampton's nice.
But expensive. So that's why we were sharing the hotel room for this wedding.
Oh! Radio pays well.
I remember her phone rang 3 times through the night.
Was it me?
Through the night. No, it was like, it was.
I don't know how to turn the pod up.
It was a similar situation, technical problem, something wrong with the log, and then one person not showing up.
Always.
And she had to deal with that.
Can I guess who it was?
She just, that station was like her baby. That was her, like she is with her dog Wednesday. That's what she was like with WAAF.
Yeah.
She was very protective. Anybody mentioned anything negative about that station in the building, she was on their ass right away. So nobody.
But I mean, I feel like we were all
worked harder than her.
We were all a little like AF was a little different. Like I worked for other radio stations, and like I was proud to like be on the radio or work for a radio station, but like not saying anything bad about the station, but like when I was on WEI and like I had their mic flag, like I was proud I was on the radio and that I was representing them when I was in the Bruins locker room or when I was with Bruins fans. But it was just a different feel when you had a AF mic flag. Like people would like come up to you and be like, AF, But like when I had an EEI mic flag, people would be like, "Oh, you're on. Okay, don't talk to me." But
dude, rock,
like,
and I'll tell you exactly why. And Michael agree with this. In my entire career, mostly was spent in rock radio. Rock radio is the bastard stepchild of everything else. We always have to claw. We always have to fucking gain respect. We have the coolest fucking fans because the fans are exactly how we are. They're the blue collar working motherfuckers that just have to grind for everything.
But like, I always loved saying I worked for AF. Like any other station I ever worked for, I'd be like, yeah, I work for this station.
Well,
but
because you felt it.
When I worked for AF, I would be like, when I was talking to someone, I would be like, ask me what I do. Ask me what I do.
Right. Well, yeah, because that's the listen. You fucking came up through the world as a stand-up comic. You fucking dug your way through shit. Mike and I, same thing. It's like, no, any radio station, Mike, you know, working with others, if you're around the pop radio station or the country radio station, they're always the favorite. Everybody loves them. And we're the redheaded stepchild. But fuck you, I'm playing Metallica. I'm grinding through shit. I got my fucking T-shirt on. You're fucking, doing you're all popular. It's like being the fucking underdog. And when you work for the underdog, it felt fucking great when you win.
I think that's why AAF listeners were so
passionate.
Yeah, because it was kind of like a place for them to go. They didn't fit into any of that other stuff that you just mentioned. They didn't fit in maybe with the classic rock crowd or whatever, the classic
cool kids.
But it was like, this is where you could go. You were a freak. You could relate to WAF because that's kind of like the people that worked there. They were the same people we actually went to shows. We didn't just sponsor shows, but we went to shows and we got drunk out in the parking lot and, we got asked by the bike cops at the Tweeter Center to leave. We went through all that same shit. We actually did that stuff. Carrie.
But the bike cops would ask for a picture first.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Or a bumper sticker.
Because they're fucking fans.
But, if there was a bike run, Carrie or LB would always be there. They actually took part in that kind of stuff. If there was a show, I'd be there. Carrie, we'd all be there. If there was like a charity event that happened, that was probably the best thing about AAF listeners is that their generosity was, to me, really unmatched because these people that you kind of, other people kind of judged people on the way they looked and, if you had tattoos or whatever, purple hair or whatever it was. But when the shit went down and people needed help, nobody stepped up faster or harder than AAF listeners. They always, with the Rock for Change or whatever the charity was, they came to the rescue, which to me is what is an American truly is. An American, this country exists because people from all over the world came here because where they were from, it sucked.
Yeah.
And they came here to make it better. And despite everyone's differences, when something really goes down, Americans help each other because we're all here for the same reason. And that's
after 9/11, we're all Americans. After the Boston bombings, we're all Americans.
And AF listeners it would just astound me every time. When Greg would do something for the Greg Hill Foundation or, whatever, Vinyl for Vets or whatever it may have been, the listeners would always step up when they were asked. And, so they were freaks, but you know what? They loyal. They cared. They cared about other people. They weren't all wrapped up in themselves and they really stepped up to not just support the radio station, but support everybody.
Each other.
Yeah. Their fellow listeners. So it was kind of like, Kerry always said it was like a gang, and it was kind of like a gang, and you're not going to get that. And you're really not going to get that too much in radio now.
No.
It's very different now.
It was always that way. It was always that way in rock radio where you were that redheaded stepchild because you never got the special treatment. You never got, but you had to bust your fucking dick.
But
and so Josh, what you're talking about, Josh,
that's what a rock station should be, though. It should be the outcasts, and it should be the
exactly.
The only difference that I would say that I experienced with that would be WBCN in the 80s because they were so huge. It was hard to really accept them as being they were definitely misfits and weirdos, but
number one popular.
But it's not like they were like outcasts because they were just so huge, and you had people like Charles Laquadera and Mark Parento and Tammy.
They were the weird lunch table in high school, but everyone sat with them. AAF was the table off in the corner.
Well,
that was
we might not have even been in the cafeteria.
We skipped lunch and we were out in the smoking area.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. We were in the courtyard.
Well, Mike, think about this. Think about this shoot. Think about all the bands that you've interviewed, all the bands I've talked to, all the people that we've talked to. Think about it's the same mentality. The station, a rock station, is fueled by what? The fucking music. And the music that we're playing and the bands that we're playing and the stories they tell. If you think about some of the stories that Corey Taylor would tell about Slipknot and some of their fans and the people they would attract, because they were and still are as freakish as they come, but the people they attract are those people that feel they need to hide behind masks. They feel they're not the cool kid. They're introverts. But Slipknot, boom, would bring them out. Pick a band, whether it be Metallica or a loud rock band, something that wasn't the norm, and the kid wasn't the norm, and the fucking bands and the listeners, and then us as the jocks, like we all related, and that's what fucking had this pendulum of like, it's not normal, it's not country, it's not the norm, but it was a
but
family.
Then also, who wants to be the normal?
Well, some people do. Some people like to. Some people like to fit in. Some people like to be the pretty girl. Some people like to be that shit.
Yeah.
And I've loved working at rock radio. I've loved working at rock radio and being part of that. You know, you don't like the fucking loud music I like. You don't like it when someone says some controversial shit. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I have my friends and I'm good.
But like even what you guys are saying, like that there's like a look, and it's like you judge people on their look, and like, oh, I don't want to go talk to them. Like they're probably bad people, and then those people end up being loyal, and the ones that donate the most, like during Rock for Change and Vinyl for Vets,
because they're real fucking people.
Yeah,
they're not silhouettes of a fucking person.
I never had this feeling before, but I haven't been to Hampton Beach until my birthday last week, in maybe like 4 years. And my wife Laura was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I haven't been to Hampton Beach in like 4 years, so let's go there." Like I feel like I grew up there. My grandparents lived there, and I wanted to go back and just see what it was like. And we went, and we were driving down one of the back streets, and we went past Wally's Pub, which is a biker bar at Hampton Beach. And we drove by, and I just had this feeling, and I said it out loud to Laura, and I was like, "Those are my people." And she was like, "Huh?" And I was
Wally's
like, "I don't
is
know."
fucking awesome. Yeah,
I was like, I feel like they would all listen to this podcast.
I would love to see you walk into that place. Hey, my people, and then see what would happen after that.
Record scratch.
Yeah. You're like,
hey, do you guys listen to the Goo Goo Dolls? Does anybody
mind if we dance with your wife?
Do you like the Goo Goo Dolls in here? Anybody? Wally's.
Do you guys listen to Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco? Anybody? Warped Tour? No.
At least in your head, you're cool. Outside, yeah. So.
I'm growing a beard.
You've been doing that for 5 years.
I know, right? This is 5 years worth of
Here's how little the playoffs matter to me this year. I trimmed my beard the other day.
It's because it's happening in the summer. The playoffs are happening in the summer.
Also, there's no fans. Normally, I'd be filming for Nesson. I'm not doing that. It's not real to me right now.
Stop it and watch.
I'm watching behind you. It's preseason
hockey. Don't care about. It's not preseason. Your fucking team just made it to the second round.
Isaiah, I believe you are breaking a federal law right now by rebroadcasting a National Hockey League game.
Ladies
without
and gentlemen, anything done by the NHL.
Which makes it even worse because Josh is making a ton of money on this podcast. So they're going to go after
making no money.
Wait, can we go back to how we started this podcast? Are you getting a check, Mike?
A check for what? This?
Right, this.
For this kind of shit.
Some motherfucking
people.
I am not pocketing this. This is going to go to Shure SM7Bs, 4 of them, and fucking office space.
We don't need an office space.
Yeah, we do when Corona's gone, but luckily your head takes up 97% of the screen. Get back in the frame. We're going to get kicked off YouTube.
Josh, I found a place here in Worcester if you're interested. It's just that, there's some people squatting there right now. We're going to have to move out on our own. The landlord doesn't do anything about it. So,
that's fine.
Yeah. So, if you want to hire some goons, I'm sure you know some goons. You play hockey.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, I definitely have a couple. They play beer league in Concord. And I mean, Corinne from Amp Radio, who I do the Cut to Corinne podcast with, she's moving back to Worcester in a couple weeks.
I know.
So
I mean, that.
yeah.
Good.
So it just makes sense for me to set up the podcast there. And I'm looking at houses right now, and I'm looking at Worcester because I was listening to you on the Pike, and Worcester's number 8 in the country.
Yeah, number 8 in the country.
Yeah,
it's specifically 01602 is the 8th hottest zip code in the country. Number 4 is Melrose. I believe.
Ew.
That's the highest New England. That's the highest New England town up there.
Malden is you. Melrose is nice.
Melrose is pretty nice. That's
Melrose is like.
We talked about this before. Isn't the dockside? Wasn't that in Melrose or was that Malden?
No, that was Malden.
Okay.
I fucking missed that place, bud.
That was a fun bar.
No, there were two. There was one at the intersection in Melrose, and there's one in downtown Malden. The one in downtown Malden, salt of the fucking earth.
Yeah. Good times there.
And dude, best nachos ever. You wouldn't expect it because you walk in, the place smells like piss.
But Josh, you got to move fast because Worcester's becoming silly, just like it became silly inside the 128 belt. Oh wait, you don't know what 128 is. So
he doesn't know shit. He doesn't understand. He's fucking.
Anything inside Route 95 is way overpriced, and Worcester is slowly
what's
becoming
95?
that for some reason.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah. So you better hurry up with that.
I mean, the stadium looks like it's getting done quick. So I think once the stadium's done, I'm out of luck.
Wait, are you moving to Worcester or is Corinne?
Corinne's already moving to Worcester. I'm looking to move to Worcester.
Really?
But we're also looking at Holden.
Oh, Jesus.
Dick Hurstrom?
What's wrong with Holden?
It's a very nice, quiet.
There was an accident.
Suburb,
there was an accident there.
Rural/suburb place.
Ayer.
Yeah, I mean, if you liked living in air, you'll love Holden.
Hold on.
I wouldn't move to Shirley. So what's Holden like?
What about? Well, you should do some research.
Very nice. Holden's very nice.
Is it okay? Because
they have one of the last. They have one of the last Papagenos in the state, I believe, still open in Holden.
Really? We should road trip.
Yeah.
Really?
I love fucking
Papagenos.
Papagenos.
Although I have to say, Worcester has 2. So.
Pocket will come to your house.
That's why we're the 8th hottest zip code in the country, because we have 2 remaining Papagenos.
So hold on, Mike, back to this. We can't ever be on the show?
No.
On the Pike?
No. Why?
No.
I mean, no.
Why?
They're trying to stay on the air, Isaiah.
Yeah.
All right. Can you talk about Breaking the Ice podcast on the air?
I did tonight.
Oh,
thanks for listening.
That's why we got followers.
I didn't know. I wasn't sure. Now I know. I'll listen.
Hey, if you want more, you can listen to Breaking Ice. I mentioned you guys by name, but yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
I didn't mention.
Yeah, we actually got
You didn't.
We got a follower.
Did you yell racist cock?
No.
You're still dealing with the FCC.
Only my second day on the air. I don't want to fuck this up.
Come on.
We actually got a follower. We got a follower on because I was curious about this. We got a follower on the Breaking the Ice Facebook page, and it was from a verified account. And I was like, why are people following Breaking the Ice? And it was from this person.
Oh my God. I know that guy. That's Luke Condon.
Nipple.
Yeah, no, don't do the nipple anymore.
Nipple.
Don't.
And that was the last one.
Oh God. Why?
So listen to the Pike and Long May You Young if you want to see that nipple.
No. Thankfully, Long May You Young is an only audio podcast.
No, you guys should do video with his nipple.
No.
Right?
No, not.
And also, me and Mike Shue will be doing. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we might meet up at Verona's in Air, which is a very good food establishment, and we're just going to have some. We're just going to have some pepperoni. We're just going to have some pepperoni. Okay.
I'm never going to have pepperoni again.
Listen. I've decided I'll join you on that.
Oh, he's got his Roadcaster hooked up.
Yeah, that's right. You like that? Thank you very much.
So shout out to Andy Ferg and Super Beef for the shirt, and shout out to
thank you,
Chris DiStefano and Giannis Pappas for the Sean Terry Patrick Marooney ladder 14, and then Isaiah's got a shirt of himself.
Oh, hold on. You're killing me, Smalls. You're fucking killing me, Smalls. Quick shout out before we wrap up. Our sponsors, Invoke Media Group. They do our website. Love you, Nicole. BreakingTheIcePodcast.com. Our friend Chris over at Garage Doors Plus. Your garage door is a fucking mess. Get it fixed. Mike, right? Fix your shit.
Okay.
Fix your shit.
Once I get some of those big fat checks that Josh is getting, maybe I can fix my shit.
I mean, oh god,
motherfucker!
Nice. I would love to see these checks.
He's stealing our money like Epstein stole a fucking teenager's virginity. You good thing I didn't hear that.
Josh never stole anyone's virginity. Are you kidding me? Look at that guy.
Fun fact, I never did.
He hasn't even had sex yet. Look at him. He's mad.
I'm saving it for divorce.
Yeah.
Who are the other two, Josh? Joe from where?
I didn't listen. Boston. Why do you have so much trouble with that? Boston Exterior Remodeling.
Yeah, everybody has trouble with Boston Exterior Remodeling.
Because I'm dyslexic. Something's wrong with me. Boston.
The concept is simple. They fix the outside of your house.
Remodeling.
Capital of Massachusetts, opposite of interior. Modeling.
Josh will do that one. And we love Matt from Wolfpack Coffee.
Yes.
He's a veteran. Love you, Matt.
Their original blend is excellent if you're making iced coffee.
And their dark roast.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It is.
It's been a fucking pleasure, you jackasses.
All right,
Kovalchuk is moving real slow behind you, Isaiah.
Oh, look at this. Hold on. The NHL would like to sue Breaking the Ice podcast.
Right?
How much is Honda paying Breaking the Ice? How much is Honda paying you, Josh?
Oh, fuck Honda. Lux Auto Plus on the Pike is where it's at. And
yes. Hold on. Before we wrap it up, Mike Shoes back on the radio. Go, yes. Mike. Where?
Yes,
go.
Please listen. 100.1 FM, The Pike in Worcester. Worcester's Classic Hits. Make sure you're listening them on Monday through Friday, 6 to 8, Saturdays, 4 to 7, right after Bob and Zip. Make sure you're listening. Thanks to Bob Goodell and Chuck Perks over there for helping me get back on the air, and thanks to the crew over at Lux Auto in Auburn for helping.
Now, are they still Lux Auto Plus?
Lux Auto Plus, great
Lux
people.
Auto Plus,
Garage Doors Plus, Lux Auto Plus. It's just the Plus kids really like us.
They can carry the Plus. They can back up the Plus. Some people put the Plus in there and they have no Plus, but those folks, they got the Plus.
Also known as Phillips Head.
Hey-o.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Until next week.
God bless you and all you do.
Weed.
Hey,
next week,
he's gone.
He had a long day. He's on the radio again.
I have got to piss like a racehorse, but I'm super excited for him. That's fucking great.
Me too. And I'm glad he can plug us, but I also have to pee, and I'll just FaceTime you after this. Here's our sponsors and our outro song. Bye.
See ya.
This is Brad Marchand, and you're listening to Breaking the Ice with Josh Dolan. I don't think he would ever let a pizza get out the door before he buried the whole thing, so he likes to eat that kid.